So I chose to be an architect because at school I was really interested in visual arts and design and technology, and I thought that architecture was a way to apply those skills in sort of a problem-solving scenario where I'm solving problems in a real life setting. So I came straight from school to university to do the Bachelor of Architectural Studies, and I chose UNSW because I was kind of looking around at all the different unis and I really liked the balance between theory and practical skills that you learn here. Yeah, so I did my bachelor's here and then I took a year off and ended up back to do my master's because it didn't make sense for me to go anywhere else, to be honest.
I chose to do architecture out of a real love of making things, particularly with my hands. I came from a real kind of hands-on background, and whether it's drawing or model making or full-scale stuff, I really like the idea of building a kind of a product, building a kind of object, and that's probably why I got into architecture.
So I decided to study my master's at UNSW Built Environment because I finished off my Bachelor of Architectural Studies here, and my final studio in the Bachelor was the Glen Murcutt studio, which was something I'd really looked forward to my whole degree. We got to go camping and do a rural sort of design project with Glen Murcutt, which was sort of an unheard of experience if you go to any other uni. It's really, once in a lifetime experience as an architect. And that sort of really reinvigorated my passion for architecture. So I took some time off, and then once I came back to Sydney after travelling a little bit, I kind of decided that this uni had given me everything I wanted and needed in terms of the skills and the social aspect and the teaching. So yeah, I decided to come back here for my master's. The highlight of my architectural studies at UNSW Built Environment would be the travel studio I took to Japan. It was an interdisciplinary studio, and it meant that we kind of got to learn from all different sort of parts of the built environment. We had landscape architects, urban planners, interior architects and architectural students, and it was a really great experience sort of travelling and learning with a small sort of group of people who are kind of like-minded but can all bring something a little bit different to the table. And I think that that's a real strength of the UNSW Built Environment as well. It's the interdisciplinary sort of aspect of learning from other sort of people's skills but within the same sort of overarching studies. I think the year-long project is a real strength of the UNSW architecture degree. Not many other universities offer it, and I think it's a real opportunity to get in really deep into a project and understand it and come out with something a little bit more sophisticated or developed than you get from a 6-month studio, which is what you usually would do.
The Master's Studio in the Architecture and Social Agency stream was focused on a site around the St Canice Church in King's Cross, and we looked at themes like gentrification, homelessness, housing affordability, and how that affects kind of inner city suburbs and inner city communities. And I really enjoyed delving deep into that question for the last 9 months, engaging directly with the community on the site and the community in the suburb. It's a real highlight for me. The
overarching idea of the stream was about resilience, and I think that's something that we all sort of struggled with through the course of the project. And this idea about my project in particular explored ideas of time and what resilience means to people and place over time. And I think especially in a context such as King's Cross, where there's so much change going on, that notion of sort of time and diversity in relation to overarching ideas of resilience was sort of the biggest challenge that we had to grapple with. Especially with this community that's sort of facing a number of challenges in terms of, it's a church, so patronage of the church and, gentrification of the neighbourhood, as Tim said, with people wealthy moving in and the sort of lower socio-economic groups moving out, what that means for sort of a socially engaged community in the context of King's Cross.